What's up, everybody? We're looking at one of the best draft classes we've seen in some time. It's a deep quarterback class. It's a deep receiver class. It's a deep line class. It's deep defensive class. We've got guys like Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May. Shoot, Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison. That's just the tip of the iceberg. This draft is going to be insane. I can't wait to see all this talent just get poured into the NFL this season. This draft will change the landscape of the NFL, just as this free agency period has as well. This is a huge offseason in the NFL.
There's going to be people that are going into like 4th, 5th, 6th rounds getting super valuable players this year.
I am excited about these really deep picks, but we're not going to get into those guys today. Let's just do a first-round mock draft here live with everybody.
This is the hardest pick in the draft. Pick one.
Usually it's one of the hardest ones, but this year I feel like the Bears are kind of just showing all their cards. I feel like they're pretty much locked and loaded, ready to pick Caleb Williams.
I thought they were going to pick somebody different. Not. There's nobody else. Him and his pink fingernails and pink phone, they're going straight to Chicago. It's going to be sweet in the worst ways possible. I know it seems like they have them set up, but it's a mystery to me. It's not as much of a bang as everybody thought it was, I feel like. I don't know why, but I'm not getting that kind of confidence.
I think if you're blindly confident in Caleb Williams just coming in and taking this team to the stratosphere, you're kind of ignorant to the fact that the Bears have never truly had a franchise quarterback. They don't know how to develop jack shit, truly. We've seen that for decades. They've built a little bit of a better roster this offseason than Justin Fields ever had. Caleb Williams will be walking into a better situation than Justin Fields ever had. I hope that does a difference for him. I'm not sold on them just being like a contender anytime soon.
Yeah, me neither. Up next, this one's actually a struggle. I've heard a lot about this pick. I've heard J.J. McCarthy can go as high as this. I've heard Drake May, Jaden Daniels.
We know that Washington's going QB. They traded Sam Howell to Seattle. That, again, made it very clear they need a quarterback. They don't have one on their roster. I'm in the full camp of believers that it's Jaden Daniels. I think Jaden Daniels' stock has risen. Drake May's stock has fallen a little bit. Jaden Daniels, in my opinion, is at this moment locked and loaded, going to Washington at the number 2 pick. I don't think that anything's going to change that. And I'm going to go a step farther in saying the Bears are messing up by not picking Jaden Daniels 1. I think that he is going to end up being the best quarterback in this draft class. The more I've watched and looked into this and everything, this is the guy you want on your team. I think it's a shame that he's going to end up in Washington because that's probably the worst place he could end up out of these top 3 teams.
Dude, what if he walks in there and does what RG3 was supposed to do?
I would be thrilled. And I say that as much as I can as a Cowboys fan. For his franchise that's been in such limbo for so long, just searching for the guy, or even just any remnants of hope, truly. I think Jaden Daniels could really be that dude. I'm not a fan of Cliff Kingsbury being the offensive coordinator to start a career with, but Jaden Daniels seems like a resilient type of dude. One thing that I will give Cliff Kingsbury is he's great with working with extremely athletic quarterbacks. I think they can make it work to a point. I think Jaden Daniels can kind of overcome Cliff Kingsbury, if you put it like that. I believe on your personal mock draft, you had Drake May going here, though.
I did, but as we're sitting here talking about it and aloud, everything sounds a little bit clearer when we're talking it out. I agree with you. I see Jaden Daniels as a better fit there. I've heard a lot about Drake May just kind of falling.
Prior to about a month ago, it was either Drake May or Caleb Williams as the top 2 picks locked. That was the only 2 options.
And then
Combine and Pro Days happened, and Jaden Daniels has taken a huge leap.
And J.J. McCarthy as well.
Yeah, J.J. McCarthy has as well. At the end of their careers, when it's all said and done, I think Jaden Daniels will end up being the best quarterback in this draft class. J.J. McCarthy might end up going lower to a better team. He could end up having more wins, having a better legacy. I don't doubt that, but when we're talking about pure quarterbacking, I think Jaden Daniels is going to end up being the guy out of this class.
It wouldn't surprise me. Next, we've got the Patriots. I still think they go quarterback, and I think they just take the guy that fell to them, and that's Drake May.
I'm with you, bro. Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams off the board. Drake May is pretty much the clear pick here, I think. They obviously traded Mac Jones. Bailey Zappi is a clear backup. I don't think that Gerard Mayo is going to come in and try to mess around with that whatsoever.
He's been seeing it for the past year, however many years.
Yeah, like he's been watching as a Patriots fan the last
Yeah.
couple of years, like what the hell's going on. So they're all in on a quarterback. Drake May is the clear fit unless they choose to flip it up and go J.J. McCarthy, maybe Michael Penix, but like we're talking the third overall pick here. I believe they're sticking with Drake May.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't like Drake May, again, they could just outright pick one of those other dudes, or they could trade down a little bit, target them a few picks down the board.
Yeah, somebody else that wants to trade up for Drake May that valued him more than Jaden Daniels.
Yes. So for the sake of this video, we're not going to do any trades. We're just going to have everybody picking as they currently
Just a
are.
clean draft.
Yes. 3 quarterbacks off the board and 3 picks. It's been a while since that's happened. We've got Arizona Cardinals on the board at 4.
I think this is truly down to whoever's sitting up there in that front office. Who's watching the tape? Who's analyzing everything? And based on that, who do you think is better out of Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr.?
For me, it's a true flip of a coin.
It is. Malik Neighbors showed better this year.
That's where I kind of ended up with, is like Malik Neighbors outdid Marvin Harrison in every single statistical category. You can say, oh, he was with Jaden Daniels, but dude, Marvin Harrison was in Ohio State. It's not like he didn't have a quarterback.
Yeah. I lean Harrison just because of the name.
Same.
Because it's been that way all year. That's what they were expected. That's what they've kind of probably been building towards.
I'm in the Malik Neighbors category now, bro. Like, I think they're going to go Neighbors. It's a true coin flip.
I agree.
If I was the Cardinals GM doing the little bit of research I've done, I'm going Neighbors.
I would go Neighbors. I don't think he's smart enough to do it, though.
This is our mock draft.
I would take Neighbors.
I would too.
As a GM, I would take Neighbors.
I think I would too. And I mean, again, it is a flip of a coin. It is this close. But I think I would take Neighbors as well. I think we're going to lock him in here at 4.
That means Marvin Harrison Jr. fucking flies off the board.
Yeah, and right here
to the Chargers.
Right here at 5, this is a potential trade down opportunity. Again, we're not going to do any trades today. This could be a spot that gets traded. I could see the Vikings maybe moving up to 5 right here and picking J.J. McCarthy just to lock down their dude. The Vikings already acquired a second first-round pick in that Daniel Hunter trade. They could do that.
Yep.
For now, though, I'm fully on board with you. The Chargers lost Keenan Allen. They also lost Mike Williams. You're right. They have no receivers to speak of. They've got Josh Palmer and Quentin Johnson. Jim Harbaugh is going to run the ball a lot this year.
They're committed to Gus Bus. They've already said it.
Hell yeah, they are. But, like, dude, they need a receiver still to pair with their Pro Bowl quarterback. Marvin Harrison Jr. is sitting here at 5. I think they see that, and they're like, damn, I don't think we can even take a trade.
You can't.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I really think they're like, dude,
That's a legacy.
whatever you're giving us right now isn't enough to get us off of Marvin Harrison. I don't know how they value Malik Neighbors. I see a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr., just the way he plays and his body type, like just fitting into the Chargers. I see their front office really liking a guy like him.
I agree.
I think if he's there, they're all over it, and they just go ahead and lock him in, just like you said.
Yeah, right away.
Those are elite dudes. It's obviously 3 quarterbacks, 2 receivers. I guess if you want to call a quarterback a skill position, those are their 5 skill players in this draft. Now we're kind of into the second tier.
I feel firmly like another receiver comes off the board right here in New York. That's something they've been searching for a very long time. And I don't think they have enough balls to move on from Daniel Jones. And if you're going to keep Daniel Jones, you might as well surround him with the best thing on the board, and that's O'Dunes.
Yeah, Rome from Washington, the wide receiver, and he is a baller. I don't think that's a reach here at 6.
Could easily be the best receiver in the draft.
He could end up being it. Like, he is that good. Like
all 3 of these guys could easily be dudes that we're talking about year to year getting 1,400 yards for the next.
Yeah, like he's in the same camp as these dudes.
Yeah.
When I watch them, in my head, I have Harrison and Neighbors a tier above him.
O'Dunes is the only one to turn in a full green route tree in the past 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, so again, though, like once we get to this next level and we see how they mesh with everybody, we'll get to really see. O'Dunes has that capability, though, to be on the level with these guys. We'll see, though, if he does end up going to a place like New York, how that works. Marvin Harrison going to a place with a quarterback like Justin Herbert sounds a hell of a lot better than New York with Daniel Jones.
Way better.
Before we lock in this pick, though, I just want to point out that New York, I mean, they're desperate for everything. They need offensive tackles. They need receivers. They need running back now they've lost Saquon. They need a quarterback, dude, if we're being quite honest. And then on the defensive side of the ball, they need secondary really bad. They've built themselves a great defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Their linebacking core has gotten better. They could probably attack maybe one linebacker late in the draft. I'm fully in agreement with you. I think receiver is their biggest glaring weakness. And with a guy like O'Dune's on the board, they just kind of got to.
You have to. You have to nail that skill player down.
Okay, this one so far I feel like is the easiest pick.
Yep.
And that's Tennessee picking 7. They need a lot as well, but a guy sitting here like Joe Alt, offensive tackle out of Notre Dame.
Could easily be the best player in the draft.
Literally perfect fit. They need it. That's an easy pick. Once they say the Titans are on the board, the Titans will have the pick is in 2 seconds. Then the NFL is going to run you through 10 minutes of sitting on the clock and a bunch of commercials. Then they'll read the pick.
It reminds me a lot of Zach Martin when he was on the board. Like everybody knew where he was going to go, what his value was, and how he was going to be. And he was easily the best player out of that draft.
Yeah, like we're sitting on a first ballot Hall of Famer now.
Yeah.
And Zach Martin. This is a guy like that. Playing a different position, but still on the offensive line. Going to be consistent as hell. If he's healthy his entire career, we're looking at another Hall of Fame player right now. Falcons at 8. I know we have some disagreements on this one. I believe we both think they're going to go defense in the first round, though.
Yes.
I think they're going to go edge rusher personally, and if they're going to do that, they're either looking at, I can't ever say his name right, Laiatu Latu. He's an edge rusher out of UCLA. And then Dallas Turner out of Alabama. If they're going to go edge, those are the 2 dudes they're going to be looking at.
Yep.
And if they go cornerback, they're going to be looking at like guys like Terrion Arnold out of Alabama or Quinion Mitchell from Toledo. Or maybe if they want to reach slightly down the board based off projections, Cooper DeJean. Again, I don't know how to say that guy's name. I think they're going cornerback or edge. You are more on the cornerback side of things. I'm feeling like they go edge. I think they get Dallas Turner. I think he fits. I think he's more NFL ready than Latu is. Like a day one contributor. I think Latu definitely has more talent, like raw talent. I'm going Dallas Turner. What do you think?
It's just hard for me to think of the ways that Atlanta has picked in the past with their edges.
Think about their cornerbacks, dude. It's not like they're much better.
I know. If they were smart, they would take Dallas Turner.
I think that's the smartest pick on the board.
Let's throw him in here. I don't disagree with you.
Dude, we all know this draft isn't going to be perfect, and no one's ever is. I think all we can do in this is make the smartest pick possible and, hope that team does it kind of thing. And maybe we're just wrong, and that team's right, and, good on them.
Yeah, we could be straight up wrong.
Yeah, I think we should just make the smartest pick for each team. I think that's the wisest way to do this.
Definitely.
Okay, so after that, we got the Bears back out for their second pick in the top 10 at number 9. So they've already locked in Caleb Williams. What do they think they do? They can get offensive line, receiver, defense.
They could easily take Latu off the board right now if they really wanted to.
I could see that happening for sure, dude.
I could also see them taking somebody on the offensive line just to build around Caleb Williams. They don't necessarily need it.
They do need it, but the thing is like I feel like they need more interior offensive line, and where they're sitting at the draft right now.
There's not enough value at this point in time. They can get that later.
Yeah, like they could trade down from this pick maybe if that's what they're going for and get a guy a little bit later in the first round.
Otherwise, I feel like defensive line is what's addressed here, whether that's inside or outside.
I'm with you.
On this board, Latu is the best.
Yeah, right now the highest rated interior defense lineman would be Johnny Newton out of Illinois, who is really hard. But again, I feel like that's too much of a reach right here when Latu is sitting on the board. And a guy like Jared Verse.
Yeah.
I think both of those dudes would rate higher than an interior defensive lineman, especially when you have a hole on your edge. I'm with Latu.
Let's pull Latu off the board.
Yeah, let's do that. I like that. Okay, so the Jets are sitting here. They've addressed their offensive line needs pretty well so far in free agency.
They just could use one more tackle.
They could. I don't know if they'll do that in the first round, though. They definitely could. I mean, we got guys sitting here.
If they don't, then I feel like they don't have any choice but to take Brock Bowers.
Yeah, get another dude, help out Garrett Wilson, help out Aaron Rodgers, take pressure off Garrett Wilson, you know what I'm saying? And a guy like Brock Bowers, who is such a presence
Yeah.
up the middle, that's going to take a safety away from Garrett Wilson's side of the field. If you do that with a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, who's able to read what's happening before it's happening.
You can't play a linebacker on Bowers. It's just not going to happen.
No. You're going to have to direct a safety to his side of the field.
Yeah, that's going to open it up all day.
As I was going through my mock drafts, I did a couple of them. This kept coming up. It was like, dude, who could they really need more than what Brock Bowers would do for their team and do for their offense next season?
Yep.
Think about all these young tight ends over the last 4 or 5 seasons that have come out and immediately contributed like we've never seen in the NFL before. Most of them have been with really good quarterbacks. None of them have been with a guy like Aaron Rodgers, though.
Right.
I think Brock Bowers is the move here. I think it's a power move. And the Jets could that can kind of send them into the level that they think they're in.
Yeah.
I like it. And I'm glad that they addressed their offensive line already in free agency, so they're not feeling the pressure to spend their first round pick right away on an offensive lineman. And Brock Bowers, by the way, is a great blocking tight end. He is technically part of the offensive line.
He's all the way around.
That's a great pick, in my opinion. I got Vikings on the clock. They got no QB. J.J. McCarthy sitting here. It's a great fit. I think any quarterback would be lucky to go to Minnesota in this draft. It's definitely the best fit for a rookie quarterback in this class.
But do they address that, or do they address their defense?
Why would they not address it if they have J.J. McCarthy sitting in their face?
I've seen a couple reports that they may just ride out Sam Darnold for a year and wait till next year.
You really don't think they would like J.J. McCarthy?
I don't necessarily like J.J. McCarthy. I like the things that he has on paper, but outside of that, I don't know. Maybe they do take him.
First off, I think they take him. But second of all, I think J.J. McCarthy can be a dude that's a household name. I don't think he's going to ever be on the elite level of the NFL. I think he's going to be a dude that can be like Kirk Cousins for the Vikings. To be quite frank, I think that's kind of what the Vikings are looking for.
Yep.
Why would you pass it up? Why would you ride Sam Darnold out just for a high draft pick next season?
I'm just rolling off of reports. They need a quarterback. So if it was me, I'm taking McCarthy.
I mean, would you take Penix?
No.
No, me neither.
But if you're not addressing anything else, then it's J.J. McCarthy.
I think that's the most glaring need, particularly on offense. I mean, they could definitely use a guard.
There's no guard high enough right now.
But there's no guard high enough right now. I get they need defense. I understand that. But is a cornerback going to help you as much as a quarterback? No.
Arguably.
But
you
have Sam,
no.
Dude, you're talking about Sam Darnold.
From my mind, I take J.J. McCarthy.
I just locked it in. I'm taking J.J. McCarthy in the sense that, I want Sam Darnold to start this year.
Yeah.
I want Sam Darnold to start this year. Just let him learn, bro. Because the Vikings are they're in a spot they can do that. They can win 6 games this year. As a franchise, they'll be okay.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone thinks they're going to win the Super Bowl. I don't think they think they're going to win the Super Bowl. I think that would be a good move if they can just let him sit and develop him a little bit, come out next year. It'd be great.
I hope they're that smart.
But I think they are. I think they're a legitimate NFL franchise. They're not like these majority of these top 10 other teams we just mentioned in this draft.
Yeah.
Okay, we got your guys on the board right now. What do you think you're doing in Denver?
I think at this point with this draft, we probably will take Jared Verse off the board.
Okay.
I don't see why not. And if we don't do that, then we go with a corner.
I had Terrion Arnold out of Alabama, the cornerback, going to y'all. I like Jared Verse going there. Okay, so as a Broncos fan, you're saying you think Jared Verse is the best pick here?
I think so. We've lost a couple edge guys this year, so we need to replace that.
All right, so we're going to lock in Jared Verse to Denver. For the record, I had Terrion Arnold from Alabama going to Denver. Next up is the Raiders.
This is the easiest pick in the draft.
No, it's not, dude.
It has to be. You know how many guys they've lost? They have to take an offensive lineman. There's not a quarterback that's worth a pick.
That's why it's a question. Do they take a lineman or do they take Michael Penix?
No.
He keeps getting tied to the Raiders. I don't know why. I'm against taking him. They have a Gardner Minshew.
It's a Raiders ass pick.
It is a Raiders pick, but like I don't like it.
I don't think they do it.
I don't like it.
I just don't think they do it.
This is like not a comparable thing whatsoever, but when I hear his name, he reminds me of Desmond Ridder. Like they play completely different styles of football. Like I'm not comparing them, but like when I hear his name, I think of Desmond Ridder's face. And I like that's just not good. I don't know why. Like I don't know how that connection ever got made. Like they're literally complete opposites actually. Anyways, though, I do keep seeing Michael Penix get linked to the Raiders here at this 13th pick. I think it's way too early on Penix. I don't have a first-round grade on Penix, personally. I'm with you. I think they go lineman, either Fashanu out of Penn State or Fuaga out of Oregon State. On my mock draft, I had them getting Fuaga, either one. I believe Fashanu is higher ranked. I'm not sure which one had the higher PFF grade. On whatever website we're doing it on right now, Fashanu has higher grade.
Yeah, it's a toss-up, truly. I like Fuaga better, but they've got Fashanu on here higher. It's a toss-up. I think
you like Fuaga better? Is that what you just said? The Raiders, by the way, like, dude, if anyone's rated higher, they're always going to pick the lower guy. I don't know why, bro.
Flashback to Cleveland Farrell.
Dude, that was one of the worst, most embarrassing drafts I've ever watched in my life.
They had so much and turned it into nothing.
Henry Ruggs. Okay, we're locking in Fuaga from Oregon State into the Raiders.
Fuaga.
Saints are up next. Now this, I feel like, is a lock and load easy pick. They were either going to get Fuaga or Fashanu. Now they're going to get Fashanu because he's the only one left.
Yep, I agree. We'll lock him in. They need offensive line.
Yeah, Saints need an O-line. Colts are up next. I have them getting Quinion Mitchell from Toledo, but Terrion Arnold is still on the board in this mock draft. Those are the two top cornerbacks. They have a huge need in their secondary.
I think they take Terrion Arnold off the board.
I think he's better personally. Yeah, with him being on the board right here, I feel like that's kind of a no-brainer pick for the Colts to make.
Definitely. We anticipated some defensive ends being available right here.
Chop Robinson is available here for Seattle at 16, but that's probably the highest rated edge by a mile sitting here.
I could see it happening, but Quinion Mitchell will be so much more valuable to that team. Pairing him with Devin Witherspoon and what they already have back there will be massive.
I agree. I don't think they're anticipating having a guy like Quinion Mitchell fall to them, but when he does, if he does, they'll jump all over it, especially if there's not a clear defensive end sitting on the board. Yeah, I like that pick, Quinion Mitchell, for the Seattle Seahawks. That's nice. It fits into their culture and what they want to do with the ball, or with their defensive schematics and everything. Jacksonville. I'm fully on defensive line, whether it be interior or exterior. I'm leaning more interior defensive line to pair with Eric Armstead. They have their two edges pretty much set. There's clear interior defensive linemen sitting here, Johnny Newton and Byron Murphy. I have Byron Murphy going to them in my personal mock draft. I'm going to stick with that. I think that's a Jaguars pick.
That's fine with me. It's either or for me.
It's either him or Johnny Newton at this spot.
There's no defensive ends available on the board because regardless of signing Eric Armstead, they would still go defensive end if there was one available.
Yeah,
but they always do.
I just think Byron Murphy's like just his stature and everything. They need a dude like that, big as hell.
Yeah,
on the interior.
Send them.
Okay.
Bengals.
Assuming T. Higgins is still on the Bengals by draft day, they don't trade him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're going off of right here. I just think they need O-line. I think that's what they need to hammer hard in the early rounds.
Fatanu.
Yeah.
They don't really have a steady offensive tackle on the left side. La'el Collins is back with the Cowboys, and he really wasn't anything for the Bengals at all after they paid him.
Sitting here, we've got Troy Futano out of Washington, Amarius Mims from Georgia, and J.C. Latham out of Alabama. Those are the three tackles on the board, the three highest tackles sitting here. I think they just pick Futano out of Washington. It's a solid pick. He's going to help them a lot. Protecting Joe Burrow should be their priority no matter what they do, regardless of the team around. Just protect your most expensive asset at all times.
Yep.
The Rams are up next at 19. Aaron Donald just retired and left a glaring hole.
Yes, I'm taking Johnny Newton immediately to fill that hole.
Yeah, instantly. That's kind of a no-brainer for me. It's either going to be him or Byron Murphy, whatever the best defensive tackle is on the board. I'm assuming one of those two guys will be there.
Yep.
If they're not, they probably won't go interior defensive line. They'll probably pick away at something else. But if either of those guys are there, that'll be their pick. Steelers. Offensive line.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Whoever they consider the best. I see them as some Bama fans.
Yeah.
Take J.C. Latham off the board. He's better than Mims anyways.
I actually have him rated higher than Mims as well. I think J.C. Latham is the clear best tackle on the board left, and the Steelers line him right up into their left tackle spot.
Roll Tide.
Maybe right tackle spot. I might be tripping. Okay, the Dolphins need help on both their offensive line and defensive line, particularly on the interiors.
Go Jackson. Powers Johnson.
Yeah, they have a center, but like he really isn't nothing for real.
They can bump him into a guard spot or something like that.
Yeah, I think Jackson Powers Johnson is going to be a dude that can walk in and start for them pretty much right off the bat on their line and protect Tua.
Yep.
Which again should be the priority for this team. Eagles, 22nd pick of the draft.
I'm kind of digging. They just traded their defensive end.
They did.
I'm not sure why they would do that. However, it doesn't really say that they need help. But Chop Robinson sounds nice on the Eagles.
But then they've also got guys like Nate Wiggins, Cooper DeJean.
Cooper DeJean sounds like an Eagle.
He does. Kool-Aid McKinstry sitting here too.
Yeah.
Cooper DeJean, whatever the hell. He's just a baller. He plays so hard.
I would take him so much higher than some of the other guys we've already had. I think his injuries are knocking him down the board.
He had a broken fibula.
Coming from Iowa, that isn't in necessarily the best conference.
Well, I mean, it's in the Big Ten. They play good schools, and they had like legit the best college football defense we've seen in a decade, probably. He was at the forefront of it.
Yeah.
I'm with that. I like the Chop Robinson idea. I could see Nate Wiggins going well in the Eagles. This roster is so well set up. They need huge help in their secondary, obviously.
Let's take DeJean. They've got him listed as safety. He's a corner. I think if he's got that kind of versatility, that'll be massive for him.
Yeah, I think they'll end up playing him at cornerback. He is a corner. I don't know why this thing has him listed as a safety.
No. Maybe they just don't anticipate him surviving at the corner position.
I like that pick. Okay, 23. The Vikings are on the clock again. They've addressed their quarterback need. They still need interior offensive line help. Defensive line.
I think they nailed defensive back right here.
Yeah, especially with a dude like Nate Wiggins dropping this far.
Yes,
or Kool-Aid. Ooh, who do you think,
I think they take Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid had the better combine. I think that showed off a lot, and they're going to look past some of the inconsistencies.
You like Kool-Aid to the Vikings over Nate Wiggins? Okay, I'm with it.
So.
Okay, so Nate Wiggins is falling hard, guys, in this mock draft. That puts the Cowboys up on the clock at 24. And the Cowboys are screwed every which way. But I feel like there's a clear pick, and that's Amarius Mims at offensive tackle to fill the glaring hole that Tyron Smith just left.
Yep, lock them in.
We need outside, inside O-line help. We need defensive line help. We need running backs. We need like everything. I'm down with some more secondary.
Y'all are going to get Zeke back.
Dude, we need Zeke back. We need a pass blocking back in the backfield.
Y'all saw that shit that y'all cut him to save like $8 million. But this year, his dead cap space hit is $6 million.
For us?
And if you were to sign him, you'd sign him to the veteran minimum $1.8 million, which means that you would be paying him the $8 million that you cut him to save.
Oh my God, fuck that.
Classic Cowboys.
Well, that's sorry as hell. So yeah, I think we just locked in Amarius Mims for the Cowboys. I just feel like that's a clear pick. Yeah. They're gonna attack whatever just the best offensive lineman on the board is, and if it goes like this, that would be Mims. Packers at 25.
I think this is where Nate Wiggins stops his fall.
Yeah, in my original draft, I had them getting Kool-Aid McKinstry, but I did not have Nate Wiggins on the board. This is
gone.
He should definitely just go there if the Packers are smart whatsoever.
Yep.
This leaves the Buccaneers on the board at 26. I originally had them getting Nate Wiggins.
I see Graham Barton.
Yeah. I
Fill a
think
need.
with them locking in with Baker, I think they see the need to protect the quarterback. And they do that based off the fact that all of the cornerbacks are gone. All the good cornerbacks are gone at this point.
Yeah, I had them getting a cornerback in my mock.
Yeah.
There just weren't any available right now.
Yes, if Wiggins or McKinstry or anybody like that falls whatsoever, the Bucs should grab them. Okay, let's go down to the Cardinals at 27. They picked a receiver early. They could even go a second receiver if they really wanted to get ballsy. I don't think that's wise in the first round.
No, I feel like they just attack defense, and the best guy that's left on the board is Chop.
Chop Robinson. I'm with it, dude. I like that pick. Let's lock that in.
Send him.
Okay, the Bills. They could definitely get some defensive line help, no doubt. Maybe even some secondary. The Bills just lost Gabe Davis. Brian Thomas is going to be sitting here looking them right in the face.
They could also look for some speed to replace Gabe Davis. There's Adney Mitchell. Or if they wanted to go size, there's Keon Coleman.
A.D. Mitchell would be filthy on the Bears, but so would Brian Thomas, dude. Brian Thomas is hard as shit. I think at this point on the board, I think he's the best receiver. But like in my opinion, I would rank A.D. Mitchell over Keon Coleman. My personal opinion. I think Brian Thomas is kind of a no-brainer.
I think they take him. I have him going there in my mock draft.
I actually did as well.
Let's send him.
Yeah. The Lions. Okay. In my mock draft, this is where I have a pretty big reach going down into a second round grade. I have them getting TJ Tampa, which is the best cornerback available, because Cam Sutton's recent arrest and cut from the team left a pretty big gap in their secondary. Like, they have to address it.
They might address that through free agency. There's still some good corners left.
Or in the second round. Or third round or whatever. Like, that is a possibility.
There's Gilmore and Patrick Peterson and people like that. Older guys, but solid guys that can fill in if you don't get your hands on a corner.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no need to reach necessarily.
Okay, so then what do you think they do?
Do they need a safety? I know they have Branch, but maybe Newbin. I had him going a little bit earlier, and he's pretty darn good.
Newbin?
Yeah.
From Minnesota. Oh, dude. Oh, I didn't even like read much about this guy, but I remember watching him play. This guy's so fucking fun to watch.
I think maybe he could be a good fit.
Dan Campbell will go down the board as much as he feels like to find the guy that he thinks will fit. He doesn't really give a damn what it says on paper about you or what anyone else has to say about you for that matter. He's really just looking for a dude that he thinks will fit. I could definitely see Tyler Newbin fitting into this defense. I like that pick. That's a cool pick. A little bit of a reach. I like it. Okay, Ravens are up on the clock at 30.
Xavier Worthy is going there.
Over Tyler Guyton?
They have been waiting so long to replace a receiver. I feel like they just take Xavier Worthy and don't even think twice.
Over offensive tackle.
Yeah, because
with their running team. So you think if they go receiver, they've got a bunch of options.
They could go O-line. I forgot they traded Morgan Moses.
And they lost other dudes in free agency. Their line is pretty bad. Like, they need interior and exterior offensive line.
All right, let's be smart. Tyler Guyton. Just for smart.
Tyler Guyton is a smart pick, but like, dude,
they really want to jump into it.
They could get Keon Coleman, A.D. Mitchell, or Xavier Worthy at receiver.
I'd like if they really want to jump in and like go hard, they're gonna take a receiver. If they're smart, they'll take Guyton.
I think Guyton, another OU lineman.
Let's do it.
Like, I think he can be on their team for 15 years.
Let's lock it.
I won't be surprised if they end up taking a receiver. I won't be surprised.
Yeah, no, it's not surprising at all.
49ers are another team that has a little bit of luxury to kind of mess around. But again, they have some needs in depth. They could definitely attack their O-line, interior or exterior, and their D-line. Brandon Ayuk is in some contract disputes with them. The receiver could end up being a need that becomes a thing on draft day. I'm not sure what they'll do here. Keon Coleman, A.D. Mitchell, Xavier Worthy are sitting on the board. But then they have guys like, I cannot say this dude's name, Sumatia, tackle from BYU, Jordan Morgan, tackle from Arizona, the guard, Christian Haynes from UConn. There's options at the line. I don't know what they'll do, truly.
I think they just take the best lineman on the board.
Tackle or guard?
I'm going to say tackle. I feel like when they weren't running at Trent Williams, it was much harder. And when they were running interior, Christian McCaffrey still had some shots through. Let's go with tackle.
Okay.
I like Joe Morgan.
Yeah.
He was good.
Okay.
He showed off at the end of the year.
We'll do Joe Morgan to SF. So now we got the Chiefs, number 32, Super Bowl champs. They have their pick of wide receivers between Keon Coleman, A.D. Mitchell, and Xavier Worthy. I think they go A.D. Mitchell over Xavier Worthy and Coleman, specifically just because I think he's the most complete receiver out of these guys. They could end up going Worthy for the speed.
I also think Ladd McConkey is in this argument too.
Yeah.
Just off of route running and skill. I think that's something that really plays into Patrick Mahomes' ball field. However, I think the excitement of that speed sitting on the board right there is too much.
A.D. Mitchell's also fast as hell. He has a 4.34.
Who's bigger?
A.D. Mitchell, he's 6'2", 205. Xavier Worthy's 5'11", 165. But he did run the record-breaking 40 time.
4.21 or whatever.
Yeah. I think A.D. Mitchell is the guy.
They got to take Xavier Worthy. Fuck it. They go straight speed.
But they just got Hollywood Brown.
Woo. I forgot.
And they just potentially lost Rashee Rice.
Give him Mitchell. I like the size and the speed combination.
He's got it all. Keon Coleman's got the size. A.D. Mitchell's got it all. And Worthy's got the speed. So that is our draft. We'll put the results up on the screen. Let us know what you think, guys. We did our best to do it as like what each team needs the best, pick the best player available type thing. It never goes how you think it will. Teams aren't as smart as you think. Sometimes we're stupider than we think we are too.
No, they're just not as smart as we are. That's all.
That is like oftentimes the case. I really like this mock draft. I'm really, really excited to see what this new year brings and this draft. This is going to be an amazing all 7 rounds. The first round is going to be great, but it's really going to roll into day 2 hard. Rounds 2 and 3 are going to be amazing in this draft class.
Yeah, this will be a ton of fun. Draft is my shit. I cannot wait until we get there.
Me either. And then guess what time it is after that? It's fantasy season, baby.
Let's go.
All right, guys. Take it easy. Enjoy your evening. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.
We'll catch you later. What's up, y'all? B&E Sports Talk. Caleb Williams, Drake May, Marvin Harrison, Jaden Daniels, Joe Alt, Malik Neighbors. It doesnn't get any better than that. We've got 3 days of straight fire. This is a deep, deep draft. B&E Sports Talk.
Let's get it.